So that's kind of what I was gearing to, right? U.S. town, well, U.S. suburb, right? And like I said, this area is pretty decent. But so like here, kind of the use of what are they called? DoorDash, right? Uber Eats, food delivery apps has been a little more normalized. So that's kind of wanted to get to. So here, and I already talked about this kind of pre-planned a little bit. So kind of what I figured is I wanted to kind of talk about how how most of these food delivery apps generally work. The gig working apps, right? Like tip based, right? Drive based. So they're driving and they're tip based. So like literally Uber Eats and Uber are kind of the same thing. You know, instead of delivering and picking up a person, you're picking up an item, generally food, right? Unless it's like a sketchy Uber Eats or something. But but overall, it works like this. There's a customer, there's the driver, the company, right? And there's like three things to balance out. You know, the customer obviously wants the lowest cost that they can get plus the fast delivery, you know, ASAP, get it here ASAP. And there's the driver who wants to get, you know, paid the most for their time. And then there's the company who obviously wants to maximize profit and kind of keep the other two sides minimally satisfied. And you know, it makes sense. So there's actually three variables, basic variables from this standpoint. That's pretty much how the pricing system works. It's like a lottery system in a sense, bidding system, right? The You know, the lowest bidder, not lowest bidder, but like lowest offer taken. Because that's kind of how it works. You know, the it has to work. That's the rule number one. It has to work. So the order has to be completed within a reasonable time frame. Otherwise, it doesn't work. It won't be used again. So that's like rule number one. And another rule is that the food itself or the item, right? It's a fixed price. You pay the same amount generally for the same, maybe not the same restaurant, but generally the same. A burrito is generally going to cost or the same generally everywhere, right? And that price isn't going to change. That's another rule too. You know, it's not going to change very dynamically. And by that, I don't mean like a $10 burrito versus like a $20 burrito. No, I mean like a 10, a 15, $20 burrito, and but you're not going to see like an $80 burrito. So you're not going to see weird outliers. So that's kind of what I meant. You're not going to see, and continue on to the next short.